Hey everyone, Ryan here, and today I want to talk to you about the stimulus bill and the bills and all the free money that they're just giving to everyone. Money for you, money for you, money for you, money for everyone. Get the printing press going, open up the doors, bring in your wheelbarrow, and we'll fill it up full of cash. They have passed the bills. There have been, people that are supposed to get the $1,200 stimulus check. Some of you have gotten them, some of you haven't. I know I myself have gotten it. I'm guessing maybe direct deposit were easier for some people, but there's been a few issues with that. Now, hopefully everyone will get theirs soon so that they'll have all the money they need to cover all their expenses, food and bills. They can keep the lights on, the heat going, that kind of thing. Now, even though some people have gotten their stimulus check already, the government's looking into doing another bill which may give people more money. They feel that they've already spent this money on food and bills, keep the lights on, keep the heat going, and that people might need more money. Plus, they want to stimulate the economy. They don't want to see us go into a recession. That would obviously be bad. So the Fed's trying to do what they can. The government's trying to do what they can to prevent us from going into another recession. So what could the possibilities look like? Well, let's take a look. A $2,000 a month stimulus check that qualifying people would get. Now, when I first heard about this, I thought this was a really good thing. If you already have a job, you're still working, you're still making the same amount of money, extra $2,000 a month is a lot. You could do a lot with that. You could pay off a lot of debt, get a lot of things done, put it in savings, invest it. But if you're not working, obviously that money is going to help you get through each month. Now, one negative effect of this is it's going to have to be paid back eventually. And we'll go into the numbers in a bit, but who's going to pay it back? The tax-paying citizen. That's who's going to pay it back. So essentially, it's just upfront money that you're going to be paying back to the government. Even though it's technically tax-free, it's still going to have to be made up in the end. So here's what we do know. Trump and Congress are in talks about a phase 4 stimulus package to help keep things going, to help prevent a recession, and just to help keep the American on their feet so that they don't lose their house or run out of money for their bills, can't pay their credit cards, all those different things. They're looking to prevent that. Now, Trump commented recently that he likes the idea of tax roll pay cuts. And he said, I quote, "I think it's simple. It's not the big distribution." So he likes it because it's smaller, but it still accomplishes some of the same goals. President Trump and Congress agreed that the first round of the stimulus payments may not be enough to help everyone. And we're kind of seeing that there's still some people that are having these issues. So here are the 3 financial relief packages that have rolled out. Now, the original package was $8.3 billion, and it helped to get testing for the coronavirus and to help with the whole COVID outbreak. Now, the second package was approximately $104 billion, which worked on getting paid sick leave and unemployed benefits for workers. The third package was $2 trillion, the largest economic stimulus package in U.S. history. This package funded the healthcare industry, SBA loans, student grants, and loans for students who are currently in college. And as we saw, anyone whose last tax filing income was under $75K would receive this $1,200 check that some of you are still waiting on today. Now, here are the 3 current proposals for the next round of stimulus payments. Now, the first one is $2,000 a month for 6 months or until we reach the pre-COVID unemployment level. Another idea is rent and mortgage cancellation for up to a year, payroll tax rebate to help cover up to 80% of payroll costs. So what would these 3 proposals look like? Let's go into depth a little bit. So the $2,000 a month. Anyone 16 and older with an annual income of less than $130,000 will receive $2,000 a month. Qualifying families with a child 16 or under would receive an extra $500 a month per child up to 3 children. I guess those kids are finally paying off, huh? Kind of like how smashing that like button and hitting subscribe and clicking the bell icon will help me out with my channel. So what does $2,000 a month look like for all these people that would qualify for this check? Well, let's dig into the math a little bit. So thanks to B&B University in Chief for his excellent math skills, I've come up with the numbers, or rather he has, to let me present to you today. So let's take a look. If these stimulus checks for $2,000 a month were issued for up to a year, this would equate to $6.1 trillion. Where is all this money going to come from? Now, I'll also put a link down below with Cheese information so you can see the video he talked about this. And I have to agree with him. Where is this money going to come from? Let's go on to the second thing they're proposing, rent and mortgage cancellation. Now, Representative Omar from Minnesota stated that in 2008, we bailed out Wall Street. This time, it's time to bail out the American people. Now, this would put all rent and mortgage payments on hold until the coronavirus pandemic is over. The payments would be forgiven and would not need to be paid back. There'll be no negative effects on your credit or rental history. Now, let's say you own a couple properties. Sorry, it only works on one property. Now, the relief would come as well to landlords and to lenders, but the details of that are still up in the air. One other thing to mention is you should contact your lender as soon as possible if you feel you are going to fall behind on your payments. See what they can work out with you, see how everything works, get all the details so that you are prepared going forward. Now, with that being said, the details of this are pretty restrictive for landlords as far as the requirements are going to be to qualify for this relief. But a couple of items that it could include is a rent freeze up to 5 years perhaps. And also you have to work with Section 8 properties. So let's say you don't have a Section 8 property now. You will if you accept this, if the government tells you you need to make someone move in that has a rent voucher. The payroll tax rebate. I think this one will be the most likely, but we'll see what happens going forward. What this would do would provide companies with a refundable payroll tax covering up to 80% of their payroll expenses. Now, this would be for all firms, regardless of their size, as long as they're affected by the coronavirus. Now, there's also talk of a rehire bonus for employers if they hire people who were laid off. If they hire them back by May 20th of this year, there's that rehire bonus. Now, this could get a lot of people back to work quickly, but the problem is, how would this work with all the restrictions out there? If you're trying to keep social distancing up and you need to hire back 100 employees, let's say, how are you going to keep them all apart when you don't have the square footage to do so in your building? Now, it is important to remember, though, that this type of thing has been done by Obama in 2009. He has reduced the payroll taxes before. So here's my thought. Which one's more likely? The $2,000 a month rent and mortgage cancellation or the payroll tax rebate? Well, again, let's talk about the $2,000 a month. 6.1 trillion, that's a lot of money. I don't know if you knew that, but that's a lot of money. Where is that money going to come from? Well, it's not going to come from me because you didn't smash the like button and subscribe yet, so you need to do that and leave me a comment. Okay, so where is that money going to come from? Well, it's going to be coming from the taxes. The U.S. doesn't have the money, so you're going to have to print it, and then it's going to have to be paid back at a later date. I don't think that's the best option. I don't think that's the option we'll go with. Now, the rent and mortgage cancellation, that's a bit more likely. The problem is it's pretty restricted for a lot of landlords. I know if I was a landlord, I would do everything I could, include going out and getting a small loan, see if I could borrow money from friends or family. I would do anything I could to not have to do this because it's way too restrictive when you get into the details for a landlord. They're basically controlling my property for the next however many years, and I don't like that. I'm not into socialism. I'm not into the government telling me everything that I can and can't do with my rental property. It's my investment. I want to rent it who I want to rent it to. I should be able to. I also don't want to be told that I have to accept certain renters. What if I have good renters in there and I have to kick them out so that other Section 8 renters can come in? What if I don't want to do that? Again, it's my property. I want to use it how I want to use it. Now, with that being said, this would be a good thing for people who have rent, people who have mortgages that are coming due and they can't pay them. This would definitely help those people out when they were laid off due to an unforeseeable event that was out of their control. So obviously, with people that need the help, this part of the bill would be really good for them. And then we have the payroll tax rebate. That's the one that's most likely, in my opinion, simply because President Trump has already talked about it. And if he's talked about it, that means he likes it, which means he's probably going to push it and try to get it done. Now, this will be good. It'll help people. I don't know all of the details, but it sounds pretty good so far. We'll get more details as this becomes more and more available as we go through time. I'm sure they're going to start to release more updates once they actually start getting more serious about this. So I would have to think that in the coming weeks, we're going to see something on the table pretty soon, maybe in the next week or two. More of these details are going to come out. They're probably going to have a baseline for this, and then we're going to be able to look at it and say, this is probably what's most likely. Again, I don't think the $2,000 a month is going to work out. We may see something like that, but maybe it's only $500 a month. Something that's a little more affordable, because $6.1 trillion, that's a lot of money. And I just don't see us as a country doing that when we don't have it. We can't get it from anywhere. We're simply, the Fed's going to turn on the printing machine, and that's how the money's going to be sent out. That's the only way there is to do it. So hopefully it doesn't come to that. But I appreciate you guys checking this out. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you have any other questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.